another episode of Indigenous Survival. I'm your host, Jeff Gibson. Today I just want to talk about these so-called mini and micro kits. You know, there's some people out there that really do love those kits. And I have seen several on YouTube recently about that. One guy has one that he made to hang around his neck. Several other Altoid tin-based kits. Well, my opinion on those is, and no, I don't have any of them here to demonstrate them. I'm sure you've seen enough of them. My opinion on those is this: they're junk. They're only junk, in my opinion, on the fact that a little Altoids tin, and I know everybody out there has seen those, to make a complete kit in something that big, I'm sorry, you're not fitting enough stuff in that to be useful. I'm just being honest. I mean, there's other people out there I know that talks about them and says how useful they are and all that. For my money, they're not. What I would rather do is, now I don't mind the Altoid tins. I like them. I like little things that small. But instead of trying to combine them all into one little kit where you have fire making, fishing, first aid, among other things in it, I would break it down and make individual little kits. Like, take a little Altoids can and maybe make that into a fishing kit that's got, you know, everything from different hooks, 4 or 5 10 or 15 foot or 20 foot long sections of your fishing line, sinkers, maybe even you know, some sort of lures to help attract it. That would all fit in a little can. And then I would seal it up, obviously, with, after it's locked, put a little tag on it that says this is fishing. Maybe take one of, I know this is going to sound funny, my wife wears her hair sometimes in ponytails, those, I don't know what they're called. They look like a cloth-covered rubber band to me. They're very strong. So put one over top of it. It keeps it locked down. Then you can do the same thing with a fire lighting kit. You do the exact same thing. One little can. It's got matches, a flint block, maybe some alcohol pads in there as a fire help to get your fire started. Maybe even a couple of candles, little birthday candles. Those are great. Bic lighter, like I said, matches. Then you put fire kit on it, seal it with a little band, just as a, make sure it don't pop loose. You know, you just make sure that way it doesn't, it's an extra security so it don't pop loose. As far as first aid goes, well, as you guys know, I like history. And I will say today's date, today is December the 7th. I'm sure if you've been in school, you know what today means. You know, when we went into battle in World War II, even Vietnam, you only really carried, as far as your personal first aid kit that you were issued with, was only 2 items. You know, you got a battle dressing, which is just a big thick piece of gauze that you could tie, and the other thing was a syringe of morphine, and that was it. You were expected to, you didn't get sulfur powder or anything else. You just put it on your wound, tied it as tight as you could do it, and popped the thing for the morphine and shoved it in your thigh. That's what you did. That's all you got. Because why? They knew that the medic was around there somewhere, and he has the supplies. He's got the plasma. He's got everything else. You don't, as a common soldier, didn't need it. So the only really thing you need to think about, if our U.S. government, the U.S. Army, and that was throughout everything, the Navy carried, Marines, all carried basically the same kit, was 2 items, a bandage and morphine. Well, I'm not telling you to go out there and get morphine. I'm not. First of all, I wouldn't even know where to get it. I'm not saying, well, maybe some sort of aspirin. No, but you know what? You can take a lesson from that and say, do I need this elaborate trauma kit? Well, if you know what you're doing, then, and you were trained with that, then great. Carry a trauma kit if you really want to. Me, I would just say 4 or 5 and there's another, I'm sorry, but I gotta say this. There's another thing that says, that I learned in history, it says there's no bandage too big. So 4 or 5 6x6 gauze pads, a small roll of the tape, and if you wanted to throw some aspirin in there, if you can take aspirin or Tylenol, something like that, that would be all you need. So that would fit a little kit. What I'm trying to say is, then you could throw all that stuff into like one of the fanny packs. Sorry guys, I'm a little, just got from back from my doctor, I'm a little messed up a little bit, but you got these fanny packs nowadays that has water bottles on the side, which you can upgrade those, buy the pad, buy that pack, but replace the plastic water bottles with something more substantial like stainless steel. But anyway, now you got these little individual kits and put it inside your backpack, in your fanny pack. Because, okay, first of all, now I know somebody out there is going to say that, well, these things are for emergency, when you can throw it in your pocket. Yeah, but here's the thing. If you know you're going to be in an emergency, you wouldn't carry a tiny little kit. You would carry a backpack full of stuff. I mean, it's just like camping, sort of. I'm going for a hike for a month. Well, I'm not going to confine all my stuff into, hold on one second. No, you're fine. I'm not going to confine all the stuff I need for a month in a bag this size. Ain't going to happen. It's not enough. I can't fit nowhere near enough stuff for a month of a hike in a bag this big. But then again, I wouldn't go out for a day hike with a backpack. It makes no sense. This would be fine for a day, maybe 2. So you have to think about the way you're going to do this. You know, if you're going for a week's hike, of course you carry what you would need for what you feel you would need for a week. So these little bitty micro kits and all that, they're cute. I even seen somebody made a micro alcohol stove out of they made it out of the aluminum screw caps off of bottles. It was cute. Did it work? Yeah, it worked. But what realistically are you doing with the damn thing? It ain't going to put out enough heat to cook much. You can roast a marshmallow. You're not going to cook us. No offense to my little squirrel buddies that were just out here a few minutes ago because I was feeding them. You're not going to cook a whole squirrel or a fish on a little stove that big. It was cute, but that's all it is cute. I know my grandmother and my grandfather would say, because they lived through the Depression, they might actually disagree with what I'm saying and say, you know, the old saying back then was half a loaf of bread was better than none. You know, you might want the whole loaf, but take the half a loaf, it's better than nothing. Which is basically saying you might want a big kit, but accept what you get. Yeah, maybe to a point, but yet at the same time, you know, no, I don't want to walk. I don't want to go for a day's hike and look like I'm ready to climb the Swiss Alps. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to, I'm going for a day's hike and I got enough stuff on me that I could, you know, looks like I'm ready to go climb the Swiss Alps. Ain't happening. I mean, that's dumb. So tailor make your stuff to how long you're going to be. And one of these little bitty kits that everybody keeps bragging about the Altoids, the Ultimate Altoids 10 survival kit. You know, what am I going to do with that? If I go out for, maybe if I'm going for a short couple hour walk, that might be handy. But then again, where am I going for a short couple hour walk that I'm really going to need survival gear? And something else, I keep seeing them, even the larger ones, that I never really wrap my head around. They keep putting in them, and I don't understand it, is a knife. Every one of them. Oh, I got, this one has this type of knife. This one has that, or, you know, I was always brought up, my uncle smoked pipes. He carried a Barlow double-bladed knife. One went one way, the other one went the other way. One knife blade he kept razor sharp, regular size knife. The other one was a little penknife blade, and it was always kept purposely dull so he can clean the bowl of his knife out, his bowl of his pipe out. Well, my dad always carried a pocket knife, a little buck. Nothing big, just, you know, ones about like this that had the wood handles with the brass ends. It might have been a buck knockoff, but he kept it sharp. He used it around, cut this, prune his flower, his rose bushes, stuff like that with. You should always taught, you always had a pocket knife. That's why they called them a pocket knife. Nowadays, everybody calls them folders. Okay, so they fold up, but I was always told they're called a pocket knife. And like right now, reach in my pocket, there's a pocket knife. Always got one. So do I need to include one special in a kit? Why? That should be on me anyway. I'm going for a day's hike. Why? Now, if I'm really going for a day's hike, I still have a pocket knife on me, but I'm going to put my belt knife on. And something I always have, you know, my multi-tool. Knife blade on there. So how many knives do I really need to physically go out and carry? Or do I need to actually go, oh, I got a pocket knife, I got a belt knife, I got a knife in my multi-tool. I'd better put a knife in my survival kit. First of all, why? Second of all is the space that it takes up. Even if I really want to go as small as possible, the amount of space that knife takes up, I could actually put something more useful in it. Now, I know people out there, I know everybody's going to hear me and say, hey, a knife is useful. Yeah, but if you're already having a knife on you, maybe a belt knife and a pocket knife, you've got all the knives you need. Now, yes, if you ask me right now how many knives do I got on me, yeah, I do have another one in my pocket, but it's technically not a knife. Actually, I don't even know. Nope, actually, I don't have it on me today. Let me check my other pocket. No, actually, I don't. And that's my no, I do. There it is. Because that's not a knife. It's a carving tool. I always carry it. But this is very similar to what my uncle carried as just a standard two-bladed knife. But so if you already have a knife in your pocket, and maybe a belt knife because you're going for a day's hike, why do you need to put one in a survival kit? That little bit, that space that's taken up by that knife, you could put something far more useful. And I just think it's actually better if you made mini kits. But each one, if you're going to make them, make each one as individual kits. I have a fishing kit, a micro fishing kit, a micro fire kit. And then if you really think about it, you put those together, you're not taking up that much space, okay? You actually have more useful equipment. Because I tried to make these little these mini kits, and I've sat there And I scratched my head trying to figure out, you know, what I looked at what I want to put in it. And I want this many hooks. I want this time. I want this. Time I actually try to put everything in it, it won't close. Then I have to take this out. I have to take that out. Time you really think about it, and I'm not even putting a knife in there. Time you really do think about it, you know, let's see, you know, and you look at, now you put everything in it, close it, you know it's fits and everything else. Then if you open it up and you re-look at everything in there, you go, what much can I do with this? I got a little bit of a fishing line. I got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know what? I don't know about you guys, but I fish a lot. I've got over 30-some fishing poles, and I don't know how many times I've broken a fishing line, got it snagged, and so, and that's with a reel full of fishing line. What happens if I only got maybe 30 feet of fishing line, and I think, well, I can maybe rig up a couple of fish, I can make me a fishing pole, I break it, I break the line, I'm done. I got no more fishing line. Or if I salvaged it, now I redo it, yeah, now I'm shrinking it even further. So I like, you know, I'd like to have more fishing line. Well, I would love it, but I can't fit it in this little bitty kit. And like I said, you really need to tailor make your stuff for as long as you're going to be out. If I'm going for a week, I'd want more. If I'm going for, hey honey, I'm going to spend a whole month in the woods in the winter. Well, my wife might think I'm a nut and may go, well, I'll see you sometime. Hope you don't freeze to death. Of course, she knows I wouldn't, but you know, but then again, I wouldn't confine myself to just a little small pack. I'd be like, okay, well, got my backpacks full. I got my everything else. I'd look like I'm going out for, you know, a year-long trip. But then again, that's because I'm planning on being gone a month. If I'm just planning on walking to the park and all that, I'm not throwing on a backpack, extra shoes dangling from there. In this day and age, they probably try to think I'm some sort of homeless dude roaming the street. But I wouldn't. That's what I'm trying to say is you tailor make for as long as you want to be out there. These little bitty micro kits and mini kits, yeah, they may be cute. And I'm not saying if you really want to make one, I'm not trying to tell you don't make one. Make what you want. I'm just saying, just like my new sleeping bag I'm going to be making soon, I like room. So I'm making it wider than a standard sleeping bag. Why? Because I like to have room to move around. I also like to have room in there that I can store some stuff in. You know, to slide some. I like to have a little room to store maybe a little bag of dry tinder that I found and put it inside something and stick, even if it's inside of a sock, and stick inside there so it stays dry. Maybe you know, I took my water bottle and I filled it full of snow or whatever. I could stick it in there and I can, or whatever reason. I just want a little extra room. That's me. I mean, I like room. But, so I'm not saying don't build what you want. I'm just saying, if you want my opinion on these so-called micro and mini kits, they're really not worth the effort of building one unless you're making individual kits. Like I said, an individual fishing kit, an individual fire making kit, individual first aid kit that's just got the basic stuff that stops the bleeding. Because be honest with you, you're not going to do suturing in that in the middle of the woods. You're not. I know it looks macho and everybody talks about them, but you know how many people are not really trained for that? My wife's an ex-nurse. She's not going to do suturing in the middle of the woods. It's far easier to take the tape and close it. Get yourself to a hospital. that type of thing. You're not going to do major surgery in the middle of the woods. This is not MASH, okay? Nobody out there is Hawkeye Pierce. You're not doing it. You're going to slap some, it's far easier to close the wound like this, take some tape, the medical tape, and close it that way, put a piece of gauze over it, tape it down, and get yourself to, so when you think about realistically, what do you really need out there? Yeah. You want supplies, but at the same time, be smart about it. Some things you really don't need that much of. Some things you want more of, but you can't fit them all in a little bitty sardine-sized can. And they even sell them, and I laugh about them. Why do you put that little bit of stuff? Like, this is really supposed to, you know, save your life? It's not. Now, if you made micro kits, even if you made a little beverage kit where I had a couple tea bags, a couple of things of bouillon, little stuff like that, it still don't take up that much space. And I'm sorry, I just had to make this one because I haven't felt good for the past few days. So I've been sitting in my house. I've been watching YouTube, and I've seen about 15 shows on micro and mini kits, and they're touting them like this will really save your life, and I'm laughing at it going, no, it won't. There's not enough in there to do much with. You know, it's like someone gives you, you're starving, and someone gives you one cracker. Well, I'm sure that one cracker might taste good, but it's not going to save your life. One little, you know, you're out in the desert, one little teaspoon of water is not going to save your life. It might taste good right that moment, but it ain't going to save your life. So if you still want to make them, you go ahead. But if I'm making one myself, I'm going to break it down into individual kits. Still might be mini, it might be small, but I'll have 5 of them or 6 of them in there, and I can go, I got fire one, I got this one, I got that one. Not trying to shove everything in one little one. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I do have some more stuff coming along soon. I have somebody actually making a different version of a poncho made out of, it'd be knitted wool, so it will be extremely warm and durable, but with a few additions that I feel that are necessary. And when they get my first one done, I will be showing it off on here and letting you know how much they will run, and how you can get a hold of us to order one, and what color specifically you would like it made in. I just had to make this one so remember to like and subscribe. I hope you still like my videos. I'm sorry it's been a little bit since I made my last one. Had some things come up I had to deal with. So until my next video, everybody stay safe. The world's crazy out there. See you later.